Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Life as Tiff Knows It. I am bringing you a shop with me at Joann's with yarn, and holy cow, they had so much yarn. I start with this beautiful display of vibrant red heart yarn colors. And I decided to start with the Incaps. They had so many different Incaps full of yarn. I went on President's Day, and so they had a 40% off sale. This is Eddie Bauer yarn on top. And, oh no, it is, I don't know. Some of the yarn was not very organized. The Big Twist was in there. They had a ton of yarn that was like blanket yarn, really bulky yarn, throughout the store. I do try in this video to kind of zoom in on some labels. Looks like Juicy Couture yarn. And there was just so many options. Yes, Juicy Couture. I wanted to make sure that I showed that it was bulky. It was very much a velvety feel. They had this whole section of Bernat blanket yarn that was super thick as well. It's kind of near the back of the store. And because I was in the back, I kind of shifted to the clearance aisle because there was some yarn there as well. So this was the clearance. There was a variety. And I mean, $3.47 for this Karen whole big thing of yarn. That's a pretty good deal, I'd say. Lots of bulky yarns were at this particular Joann's in the clearance aisle. This Joann's, by the way, it was in the Denver metro area in Aurora. So in case you're curious, in case you live around there, but they had all kinds of different things. They had a Patton's yarn that was like more of a sock yarn, and then a lot of this Bernat blankets yarn or fleece ones. I love the tweed and the colors on that. That was a $697 clearance, so pretty good deals. Always check out the clearance aisle at craft stores. This area, I think they might have been redoing it, but they did have a few things of like giant Big Twist yarn that was on sale. Like, sales are happening at Joann's right now, so go ahead and head that way if you're interested. I really like the Big Twist brand, so that's helpful. And just so much of this blanket yarn was in there as well. A good color variety to choose from, but they were kind of, I think, redoing this aisle section. I was interested in this pound yarn because you can make so much with it. I was interested in the bulkiness, all of the logistics with it. It's a really good deal to have it, I think, 30% off at $11.99 for that amount of yarn. And then there's that red heart down there. This is another Incap of Bernat yarn that had just such beautiful, vibrant, varying colors. I just absolutely love it. It is still that bulky type yarn that had a bit of a velvet feel to it. It's polyester blend, it looks like here, a size 6, but just beautiful, beautiful colors. Like, I am such in the mood for springtime, and this yarn just made my heart happy. Even though my particular taste in yarn would not be to go for bulky yarn or this material, because I ironically do not like velvet, but they had so much to choose from. Sale sign dropped here, but this is more Big Twist yarn. I absolutely loved this yarn. So this is a 4-weight. I wanted to make sure to help organize it a little bit. I loved that, the one I'm feeling right there. Just such cute colors. I love it when yarn has kind of a variance in it. It just makes it really interesting. I love that green down there. So many options there. And then I decide there's not the end of all the Incaps, but I did go down a main aisle here, and blanket yarn is just the theme. If you are looking for a bulky yarn, the place to go is Joann's, because they had so much. I can't even explain how much bulky yarn they had. And some of it you'll see is a little bit of a repeat of what they had on display in other parts of the store. But others of it I mean, they had a large variety of colors and different things. So it looks like it's originally $11.99, on sale for $8.99. All of this beautiful, beautiful yarn. I bet you can just knit or crochet a blanket super easy with this type of yarn, and it goes quickly. Definitely checking out all of the blanket yarn. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning when I'm making this. And then we get into the Bernat again. Just so much of that brand. We got Karen yarns coming up. These cakes, Karen cakes as they call them, on sale for $9.99. So many cool colors. I just love the color combos. You can make such beautiful things with all of these different sets of yarns. We kind of get into natural yarn here. I like that they have a big sign that tells you the weight of the yarn. This is a brand that I've never used before. This Trubu, which is bamboo yarn. It was very soft. It was very slick. And so I'm trying to think like what would be a good project for that type of yarn. Maybe a bag of some sort. It definitely was too slick for like a sock, and it didn't have like a warmth feel to it that you'd want to do for like a blanket or a hat. So comment down below if you use that type of yarn and what you use it for. They also had some upcycled types of yarn. I don't know if this fisherman's wood, I think that's what it said, is one of those, but it definitely reminded me of upcycled yarn. So Lion brand and this Wool Ease. I love Lion brand yarn. Good deal to get it 25% off. Lots of different varieties and colors. You can see that it is this thick and quick type yarn. It's a bulky weight to it. Definitely high quality yarn there for sure. Gets me excited for the fall season as well. I guess I should get through spring first. Makes me want to have some coffee. Obviously, I need it. $4.99. What a good price for some of this. This is amazing. And then we get into the value yarn. So this is kind of my jam, especially because I am a crank knitter, meaning I use a machine for a lot of the projects. Not all of them. I also loom knit. But this big twist yarn, I mean, what a deal. $4.99 originally, and then I think the sale price, can't remember what it just said. Is it going to show it again? I'm filming. Yes, it is 30% off. So I think when I saw it was like $3.28 was the cost for a skein of yarn, which is pretty nice. They had all of this just randomly on the side. I thought I would capture that as well. Like, I am surprised with how much yarn Joann's had. Then we're still into big twists. I love that they have such a variety of colors. That royal blue that has that sample, that is beautiful. Beautiful. I love it so much. That purple that I'm squeezing there, that just, it would make such a great coaster. I'm currently weaving coasters with yarn, and that would just be such a cute, so springy, so exciting. I love that like rich peach color as well. So many things you could do with this yarn. And then we get into the really big skeins. Again, 30% off. Can't go wrong with that. These, and then Karen 1 pound. I don't know if those were on sale as well, but lots of varieties. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I really like variegated yarn, so we're coming across some of that there, especially those bottom ones. Some greens, blues. You could see some of it's out of order, but I'd say for the most part they were pretty stocked up on yarn, and yarn is where it needed to go, just not in the right order at times. Then we're getting into Red Heart Super Saver. I would say that Joann's has a pretty big variety of Red Heart, more so than other craft stores that I have seen. So, Red Heart definitely has its pluses and minuses, but if you need to restock on Red Heart, like if you have a project going, Joann's might be the place to go. And having it at $3.79, that's not a bad deal. I really like that neon. Ooh, and that blue, pinks and blues. I love the ombre. You can't go wrong with that ombre and the rainbow. I love, oh, and then we get into this Karen Soft. Love the Karen Soft yarns. Very good for hats. $3.99, that's really not a bad deal at all. So hopefully by the time you're seeing this, these sales haven't passed if you do want to go out and purchase some yarn for sure. I'm going to get into more of this Pound of Love, which I think is a little bit comparable to Red Heart yarn. Not terribly soft, but and it is Lion's brand, but I felt it just to confirm my thought, and it wasn't like super soft. You're not going to get super soft with any of those. Homespun as well, a little bit of that. And then we get into this baby yarn. Now, I don't know about you. My opinion might be different, but I think baby yarns can be used in so many different projects. Like, I don't think it needs to be just babies get this beautiful, beautiful yarn. One of the, like, on my bucket list of yarns that I want to use is this ice cream brand that we're going to see coming up. We're definitely in the Burnett's currently. I can't remember what, it's ice cream, but it's a different brand also, but it's called ice cream, and I love it. Oh, here we go. See how it says ice cream? Those are like my favorites. I really, really like those color schemes, and I think that they can work well with everything. Oh, it's Lion Brand. Can you tell I like Lion Brand? Lovely varieties here. And you can mix and match. How pretty would some of these combos be? I love that yellow and gray at the bottom. Ugh. This is making me just want to do so many projects. I'm proud of myself. I didn't actually purchase any yarn. If you're new to my channel, you'll probably hear me talk. I've inherited a lot of yarn, so I'm trying very hard to not purchase more yarn. But I torture myself when I make these videos, and I see all that I can buy. So many options. Babies are so lucky. Oh, a lot of these, again, you might have seen before, because I think they do just put a variety of yarns on Incaps and such that they already have stocked. We're getting into some of that cake yarn and getting into Heartland brand. So shifting slightly away from traditional baby. Heartland brand is also Lion's. Very beautiful yarn. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. We're kind of shifting. Also, they have kind of, I wouldn't say it's an end cap, but this little section here, this is some loop yarns. I don't know what you use loop yarns for. Maybe an infinity scarf, or I think of a rug. But they did have that, quite a variety there. I don't see this type of yarn at like Michael's. I don't recall seeing it at Hobby Lobby. I didn't know what this was. So I kind of cut it short. I think I go back to it. They did have some cotton yarn. I would say their cotton yarn selection is a little bit smaller than Hobby Lobby's. Like, if you're looking for cotton yarn, which, I mean, look at all this beautiful yarn. You could make this work for sure. But their cotton yarn was a little bit light, I would say. This is kind of that weird section I had before. I don't know exactly. It wasn't clearance. It's kind of just kind of like oh, the tag's not here, or we're going to put all of this kind here. I don't know what this necessarily was. It wasn't clearance. And then later I found this section that is the recycled yarn that I referenced. So this is classic yarn. It's upcycled yarn. So it was throughout the store everywhere I looked, which is so cool. So I want to say thank you so much for watching my channel. And I'll make another video soon. Bye.